I'm going to show you how to mount your action camera in awesome ways on your motorcycle to get them crisp shots. I'll also show you my go-to camera settings that I utilize when I want to avoid that jittery, shaky image that you get from riding. Plus, I'm going to walk you through all the accessories that I'm utilizing in order for me to achieve these shots. This short video is packed, jammed full of knowledge, so get a pen and get ready. Let me quickly show you how I set up the POV shot. I'm using the Shoei NXR2 helmet for this. Pay close attention to the specific configuration here. As you can see, there is no wiggle room whatsoever. I love using chin mounts. Now, let's take a look at how it appears in the video.
Alright folks, so we've got the POV camera. We've got the camera mounted on the stem of the rear view mirror. But have a look at this shot. Now I've got the settings set up and I'm going to pop it on the screen for you so that you can copy this as well. 1/200 is that's the shutter speed. Definitely not following the 180 rule, however, to reduce the jitteriness in the footage. And that doesn't matter what camera you have. It could be a GoPro, it could be a DJI Action 4, whatever it is. Here's my favorite part for this. This camera setup is excellent for this section of the road here that's about to come up. Absolutely love this. Enjoy.
Something to pay attention to, the DJI Action 4 isn't as wide as a GoPro, but keep in mind I'm also leaning very forward in the video. Now notice the shaky video? This is a result of following the 180 rule. 30 FPS over 1/60th on the helmet is fine, as vibration from the motorcycle is dampened by your body. It's a cool way of making a particular scene look intense, especially when you're not going fast and you want to give the illusion that you're going really fast, which obviously I'm not going fast. Now let's go ahead and break down exactly what we need to do to set up right here on the mirror stem. So here's exactly what you're going to need. A microfiber cloth, isopropyl alcohol, an Insta360 damper, and a newer clamp. So this part's pretty simple. You're going to screw on the damper on the newer head, like so. Straightforward, right? And you're also going to need a piece of foam that has some sort of adhesive on the back of it in order for you to wrap it around your mirror so that you don't damage the paint, because I've already done that, as you can probably see already. Step 1, rub that area that you're going to place the adhesive on. And all I'm going to do is place it down on the area that I'm going to have my clamp go around in. You want to press and hold it down, and that way the adhesive can do its thing. This clamp also has rubber pieces, which is also going to help it grip better. Generally, I like to face the dial that I'm twisting right now towards me in case I need to do any adjustments on the fly. This second piece can be moved around and adjusted accordingly. So the next thing you want to do is, if you have an action camera and you don't have any threads, you'd want to go out on Amazon and grab yourself a cage, which is going to allow you to have 1/4-inch threads. And the cool thing is that you have them all around the cage. The direction of tightening this is actually the opposite of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Check out how cinematic this shot looks. Perfect for cutting between pauses and fixing mistakes. Now this road surface is super smooth, so you might get away without a damper here. Generally, roads aren't this smooth. My bike's aggressive canyon and track setup transfers more bumps into the camera. If your suspension is softer, you might not need a damper. Test it out before buying one.
Alright, so have a quick look at this. I love the small rig cage because what I can do on the fly is I can change the batteries, pull it out nice and easy. I don't have to remove the cage, fumble around, and that saves a lot of time. So this is a really cool cage to have. There are other cages that I will put in description below that will be for GoPro and other brands, so keep a lookout for that.
Right here I'm installing the newer clamp with the extended arm and adjustable swivel. The end of the arm features a convenient screw and dial system, making it easy to attach. I'll be connecting this setup to the quarter thread on my Action Cam's cage. Now this setup is also going to allow me to capture two unique shots. The first shot will focus on the foot pedals, providing a very clear view of me shifting gears, and the second shot will be positioned on the front tire, giving a forward-facing perspective of the ride. Now watch me as I demonstrate the shots in action. Here's a key tip. Make sure that the swivel arm and the Action Cam isn't too far extended out. If it is and you lean too hard, you might knock the camera off your bike. Another cool thing to notice is the contact patch with your tire. This can really help you improve your ride. Even with a forward-facing shot, if you point the camera down a bit lower, you'll be able to see the contact patch clearly. Right now, I'm really interested in seeing how the suspension moves up and down. From a cinematic perspective, this shot looks incredible. Notice how I follow the 180 rule and my shutter speed is set to 1/60th of a second. You'll notice that the footage has wavy, jittery effect, which can be pretty unpleasant to watch. I'm switching back to the smaller, newer clamp and mounting it onto the exhaust facing the rear. This setup is perfect for getting those roller shots with an Action Cam. Personally, I love using this angle when I'm overtaking someone to capture their reaction. It's priceless. This shot is amazing if you had a bunch of riders behind you or if you flew past someone and captured their reaction. Now the shutter speed is, you guessed it, 1/200, and even without motion blur, it still looks epic. The 180 rule is a basic cinematography guideline that helps create natural motion blur in your footage. It states that your shutter speed should be double your frame rate. For example, if you're shooting at 30 frames per second, your shutter speed should be 1/60th of a second. This ensures that your footage looks smooth and natural. Let me show you the difference when I wave my hands like this. With 1/60th shutter speed, you get a natural motion blur. But if I increase the shutter speed to 1/200th, the motion blur is gone. And watch how the movement looks much crispier. However, when I'm filming indoors, you're gonna get this wavy band thing that's happening right now. But I don't always follow this rule when I'm using action cameras for motor vlogging. The reason? Action cams have their limitations, especially with bumpy riding conditions. When you're out riding, the vibrations and bumps can cause a lot of jitter in your footage, as you've seen previously. Using the 180 rule with a slower speed can actually make the footage look worse. Instead, I like to use a faster shutter speed like 1/200th to reduce the jitter and get clearer, smoother shots. This means sacrificing some of that natural motion blur, but the trade-off is worth it for better overall video quality. So while the 180 rule is a great guideline, don't be afraid to adjust your settings baseline on the conditions you're filming in. Action cams and motovlogging often require a different approach to get the very best results.